Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeremy Brown, and today we will be doing a breakdown on the Kevin Hart Monique interview. It was very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I want to show y'all how to avoid this sheep and wolf clothing. They did me wrong, so now I'm about to expose everybody type of deal. Without further ado, let's get into the interview.
I feel like before we get into any type of conversation, I need to educate my listeners on where me and Mama Mo built our relationship from, where it started. There was a movie called Soul Plane.
Yes.
A movie called Soul Plane that I was blessed and privileged to get at a young age. And in getting this movie, I was also blessed and privileged to get around such amazing talent and amazing people. And the movie, regardless of the success that it didn't have in the box office, had amazing success amongst the peers, amongst the people, because we did something that was dope, and the movie went on to get bootleg, and it became a conversation, etc. It just worked. It was something that was cool to come to every day.
Yes.
And it was fucked up because it was hard to follow that act as I progressed in the business, because nobody told me that things weren't going to be like that.
So Kevin Hart starts off the interview with a lot of Hollywood talk. That right there was pure baloney. Pure baloney. How you not know the rest of Hollywood wasn't going to be as good as... You did movies way before Soul Plane. Paper Soldiers, remember that movie? So, as we can tell, Kevin Hart is already being 50% real in the interview. I don't expect nothing else. I expect him to only be 50% because he got too many hands up his ass and he can't sit down correctly. Don't get me wrong, he's my favorite comedian. Let's get back to the interview.
And I just remember where the whole Mama Mo and everything came from, because you really were that to me. It was the nurturing spirit that a mother would have. And from that day, we kind of just kept moving forward. And as things kept going for you and for myself, we didn't have to talk every day. We didn't have to see each other every day. When we saw each other, we picked up right where we left off. It was, hey, baby, hey, come here. Come here and give me a hug with your stupid ass. You called me every name in the book.
So if you read between the lines, Kevin Hart basically was saying they're Hollywood friends. They're just fake around each other. When they do see each other, when they have to see each other, it's all love. But they're not calling each other on the phone, trying to see how somebody is doing. None of that. Shall we continue?
Hearing hurtful shit I've ever heard in my life. It was amazing. But today, oh my God, they would the cross that they would put you on and the stones that they would throw at you.
Yes.
Okay, y'all just heard that? That was Kevin Hart throwing shade. He's basically saying, you ripped me back in the day, Monique. Now look at you. Now look at me. You're begging for a job. Let's continue.
In today's time, Mo, I want to talk to you through this podcast about where you see yourself now. Are you in a better place now than where you think you were at the beginning of the shitstorm of conversation and back and forth? Or do you think that you're still in a place of being misunderstood within the conversation of back and forth?
That's a great question, baby. And I don't think that I'm misunderstood. I think I'm just the wrong package to deliver the message. And historically, that's how it's always been. When there was a fat Black woman that had something to say, she was told, Mammy, sit down, shut up, because you should be just thankful you got invited to the party.
Hold up. We ain't going to let you use that. We are not going to let you pull that fat girl card out. Use that fat girl card way too much, Monique. And you made fat girls, you painted a bad image for fat girls. You made them look thirsty, unwanted, aggressive. All types of negative stereotypes about Black fat women. And you played those roles to the T. Loud mouth, always chasing the dude, you know, always trying to have sex, you know, proud to be big, always celebrating being overweight and having high blood pressure. That's you, Monique. Remember, Precious? You played that role. You let millions of people see a black woman in that type of light. You remember the Parkers? When you portrayed the big woman who couldn't get a man? Remember that image that you portrayed on black women while you sat up there in Hollywood being protected? While black women on regular earth was getting disrespected because the images we seen on TV said big boned women were ugly. And you played right into it. So don't give me that. You turned your back on the black community. Now you don't understand why we don't even look your way? You ain't funny. Let's continue before I get too hot.
So there was no misunderstanding. What happened was, Kevin, I said no. And because I said no to Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Lionsgate, that's when the firestorm came, because it was that, how dare you say no to us? Well, I had no contractual obligation to you. I was done with my contract. I was done with my contractual obligation. And when y'all say, well, do us a favor. Well, here's my question. Could I call Lionsgate and say, do me a favor? Let me hold $1 million.
Nope.
Could I do that?
I dare you to try.
No, you can't do that.
Okay. Could I call Oprah Winfrey and say, hey, Oprah, do me a favor. Let me hold $1 million.
I mean, you could ask, but the chances of her just giving you the favor of $1 million are probably slim to none.
Okay. How about if I call Tyler Perry and say, hey, Tyler, do me a favor and let me hold $1 million. What you think?
I mean, I think that attaching $1 million.
Yeah, you said no to people who got your career in their hands. What do you expect? What type of leverage did you have when you were saying no? That's like a rookie saying no to voluntary workouts. It's voluntary until you don't come. Stupid. And she put Kevin Hart on the hot seat when she was saying, can I ask this person and that person for money? If you read between the lines, she's really asking, Kevin, can you lend me $1 million? I'm broke. I don't have work right now. Because everybody who got my career in their hands, I said no to. Thinking I had leverage, which I didn't. Thinking I was funny, which I wasn't. Now she see that she really wasn't funny. They were just putting her on a pedestal. Let's continue.
And a favor to any conversation is tough. I don't think the likelihood of that happening is high. So I can understand on your side of saying that the ask and expectation wasn't equal on your side.
So now, is that a misunderstanding, or is that simply how it is?
See, this is why I think this is going to be a great conversation, because when you say it's how it is, I have to say I clearly understand where you're coming from, meaning that I said no, and when I said no, there was a consequence attached to it because the no was never before. And what I felt that there was a reason and a good reason behind me saying no, and the fix was just, here's what I would ask for to do said things. Here's a solution. I'm saying no because of this thing to get me to do these things. Guys, here's what I'm asking for. I don't think that there was a great attempt within finding solution. I think that this this grew and grew and grew without the parties actually coming to the table correctly. And I don't know, I wasn't there. I don't have the ins and outs, but I can only relate, Mo, because I went through the same shit with Sony. Remember when Sony and the social media shit happened? I was called a hoe, I was called a whore because I asked for money for marketing and promotion.
And when that happened and people asked me what I thought, I said that baby is right. Mm-hmm. Because that's his image. That's mm-hmm. his work. So he's absolutely right. I didn't flinch and I didn't waver because right is right and wrong is wrong. There is no, I wasn't there. I can't really, right is right and wrong is wrong.
Since we know right is right and wrong is wrong, did you know all of those movies you played in was destroying the black woman's image? They put your big ass out in front. You know? Remember? At one point, you was the only black woman we seen on TV. So the image of the black woman was being destroyed by your error, the Monique error, you know? Now that they tossed you to the side, you're crying wolf. You're crying to the people. Oh, they're doing me so dirty. Netflix won't give me no money for my Netflix special. Oh, they want to put me on salary. All this crying. We don't want to see your special. If it's like any of your past specials, because if all you got to do is talk about is how wild you get in bed and how fat you are, we don't want to hear it. And I'm going to end that interview on that note. Before I get up out of here, I got to remind y'all to like, subscribe, and comment. Please. Good for algorithm. And Monique, we love you, but somebody got to pull your coattail, you know. We love all of y'all, but somebody got to pull y'all coattail.